My head's literally gone like, ah! Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be telling you what 99% of candidates do wrong in their interview and why they are not getting offer letters. Let's go. Now please take all of my recruiting videos with a grain of salt. It varies differently between recruiter, company, industry, and especially if you're an agency or an in-house. In my company, we tracked each candidate plus 3 times within different systems, sheets, so you literally do not get missed. If a recruiter that is just head over heels for you, you can just tell from their communication and how desperate they are. And one of the reasons why you get tracked plus 3 times is simply because of efficiency, organization, and data. And especially like moi, who's in the data industry, people who are data driven are literally going to be crazy about and tracking everything and managing everything on spreadsheets and Excel. Oh my god, I'm so tan. If one day the CEO comes around the corner and wants to know all of the candidates that we have hiring for any specific role, we could magically just serve it to him or her on a dish with all details and stages and everything he wants to know about the candidate. So for example, if a candidate moves forward with the process, we can then track their movements on every single tracker, which is actually kind of annoying, but is so worth for all the stakeholders and the hiring managers that we work with. The more trust that there is, the better relationship that we have between the hiring managers, and more likely that the recruiter is going to be able to make an offer, and more likely for the candidate to be successful in getting a yes in the interview panel. So please trust me when I tell you that recruiters really do want their candidates to do well and be very successful within every single interview round. The biggest reason why candidates are not getting that offer letter in their hands is literally because they are interviewing wrong 99% of the time. The feedback that I hear from hiring managers within our interview debriefs is that they don't have this like specific skill set or experience or whatever, or just the fact that like candidates don't even talk about the skills that we're even looking for. Candidates always think that a winning interview is when they answer all of the questions correctly with completion and clarity. Wrong-o. So I actually had a candidate the other day that answered all of my questions correct, and then when it came down for the debrief, the managers said that they never talked about anything in terms of contract work or what they did or the NSAs, and they just basically answered my questions well. Like, what? Huh? So what candidates are doing wrong 99% of the time is to not go through the job description in its entirety, or isn't even asking the recruiter what kind of profiles that we are targeting or wanting to hire. And this is so big, you guys. And when you ask us for your recruiter, it actually makes it a lot more transparent on how to actually market and present yourself. And to BH, it also makes you sound like an interested candidate. And then when candidates finally go to that last stage, it's a lot easier to be able to compare candidates when you know what the company is looking for. Trust me. Now, when I was at Amazon, it was actually a little bit different over there on how they approach their interview questions. If you want me to make a video about this, put it somewhere down in the comment below and let me know that you guys are interested in seeing this. Because you know, sometimes things look good on paper, but they can only speak so much on your behalf, and that's where the interviewing comes in. Now, that being said, interviewing is not a perfect science either, but it just makes it so much more easier to talk about your background when you're just hitting everything on our checklist. So speaking on behalf of my company, we do not have a magic filter that rejects resumes if they don't have like a certain word somewhere. I have heard of companies doing that. I don't think that's quite healthy for the recruiting team. I think that when other companies do it, it just rejects great talent as well, which is like kind of a shame, but it's like whatever, it's like their loss. And I also don't understand why companies do this either as well, because when you filter things like that with your resume, it doesn't really focus on a culture fit or diversity as well. Go figure. Honestly, like my biggest pet peeve is like when companies ask like their starter pack interview questions, or like those questions that are like, tell me about a time when like he said, she said, blah 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 blah. Because that does not teach me anything as a recruiter. It literally just shows me how well you can speak, period. And not so much on your actual accomplishments as well. It just kind of wastes a lot of time on your search, to be honest with you. Like when you're hiring for like a C-level like executive suite, are you really gonna ask them about a time when they made a mistake? Like no, like in my opinion, like I'd rather ask them about like their money or their quotas or like the tractions that they had or like the funding or like how they manage a team. You don't get any of that stuff with all those tell me about a time things. And that doesn't really filter out anything as well. You really just kind of get candidates that understand how to interview well. and I think it's filtering a lot of great talent, but that's just me. So for those peeps out there that are looking for interviews right now, always ask them what they're looking for in terms of background and compensation, if you feel like it. Oh, never be afraid of asking them about their compensation. If they say that it's non-negotiable, then you really can't say anything about that because that's really set in stone. But TBH, if they are open, it just gives you more transparency, right? I love to advocate candidates to do that because you learn like how more or little interested that you are with the interview and with the company. And this applies to any job out there. If you have a beating heart and you're looking for a job, this will literally work for everything and anything. It's literally such an important tip that I cannot emphasize enough. So when you have an introductory like phone call with a recruiter, always learn more about the role first before they learn more about you. And it just like gives you time to like prepare for like next stages and makes you a lot more confident going in. In fact, if a candidate actually asked me that on the first phone call, I'd be a lot more impressed than anything because they know their shit and they want to engage more with the recruiter. And if the recruiter doesn't have an answer for you, that's almost even better because then you can really shape the role into whatever you want without them even knowing, honestly. And again, interviewing isn't a perfect science, and I wish there was a way we could just like pick like the cream of the crop and like find the perfect candidate, but sometimes money just ends up being a pull, or it's like how well they interview. And to be honest with you guys, like there's no such thing as the perfect candidate. Also like diversity as well, right? Sometimes it just like ends up to like diversity, and when I mean diversity, I don't mean like sex or gender or like what race you are. Like we mean like diversity in thought. Like imagine if every single employee thought the same as like Bill Gates. LOL. Anyways, you guys, that's it for today's video. As usual, thank you again so much for watching. Comment down below what you'd like to see next, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye. If you guys have any questions about your resume or you need resume help or cover letters, please comment that down below and I'm more than happy to answer your questions.